What's up, guys? Shade Tree Surgeon here on the Douche Cotty, and of course Triumph Chick on the Speed Triple, and we're heading into Ybor City today. You guys will remember a video I did a while back about how New World Brewery closed, and it made me pretty sad because it was one of our favorite spots to hang out, and in fact a lot of you guys were upset too because some of y'all who are planning on visiting Tampa really wanted to go to that spot. Yeah, I was pretty sentimental about New World Brewery. Not only did I have a lot of great memories there just in general, but it's been the setting and the beginning point and the ending point of so many of my YouTube videos that I was really sad to see it go. And to add insult to injury, they're turning it into condos. I just really think it was a blow for Ybor City. It was not a good thing for Ybor. You know, all these developers are trying to add space that they can make money off of, and unfortunately, the guys in New World didn't own the property. But if I'm being honest with myself, I've always kind of been a nothing is sacred type of guy, so I don't cry that hard because things, they change. Things will always change. And the change isn't always good, but change is inevitable. So trying to fight change tooth and nail and crying about it every second you get, I just think it's kind of a bad attitude to have. New World Brewery was there. It existed for the time that it did. And there was no way it was going to last forever anyway. They had a good run. And by the way, they are actually opening up in a different location anyway. And we'll be sure to take you there when they do finally get the doors open. But today's video isn't about things that I was sad to see go. It's about things that I was happy to see go. So across the street from the Dirty Shame, there was a nightclub called Empire. And Empire was an absolute horrendous nightmare of a club. This was back in the early days of the Shame when Ybor City was still considered a very dangerous place to go. And by the way, it still holds that reputation as a dangerous place to go in Tampa. And a lot of the blame for that reputation lies solely on the shoulders of the Empire nightclub. You know, I'll have to actually look up the newspaper articles to see how many people were literally shot and killed inside Empire nightclub, but needless to say, it was more than any one club should have and still be operational. I mean, let's be honest, one is too many. I personally witnessed with my own eyes a fight break out inside Empire, spill onto the streets, and a guy gets stabbed to death. Literally right in front of the Dirty Shame. That's from Empire. They were an absolute thorn in the side of the community that is Ybor City. And we campaigned to have them shut down. And it took the city, yeah, I'm actually pretty disappointed in that. It took rewriting laws for the city to actually start coming down on Empire. You know you've got a shit stain of a place when you've got metal detectors out in front of your club. What the fuck is a place like that allowed to be operational? Blows my mind. But all that is in the past, and again, in the same vein, everything changes and you can't fight change. This is something that's changed for the better. Two good friends of mine, Jay Paul and Paulie, no relation, have opened up a brewery in the spot where Empire used to be. And they've been working on it for a long time now, and it has finally just opened up. So that's where we're headed today. I'm actually going to drive completely past the Shame, which is right here, so we can drive in front of it. It's called Zydeco. And it makes me so happy that something so awesome and so positive is opening up in a space that used to cause so much heartache and frustration for the Ybor City community. And it's Zydeco. I just think that's absolutely fucking amazing. Not to mention, anytime there's more breweries in Ybor City, that makes me a happy man. And this is where the magic happens. Pardon their dust. They literally just opened the doors about a week ago. I like it too. That's Jay Paul right there, the owner. The dude ain't afraid to freaking work, so I always dig that.
The bottom 5 are a wee heavy. They're in, we brewed it a month and a half ago. They are in Woodford Reserve double oak barrels.
Nice.
Up top, we have our Russian Imperial Stout in the Wild Turkey, Barton, and Old Forester barrels over here. The wine barrels are Cabernet Sauvignon, and they have our Savage, which is an Old Brett Golden Ale. And then in the corner are tequila barrels, which have the Berliner Weiss.
Alright, good stuff over there at Zydeco Brewery, but it's time to go home and play with the dogs. Man, bull peanuts and beer, though, that is just one of my favorite combos. I really dig that. I think they did well offering that on the menu. Yeah, all you Yankees won't know about bull peanuts, but take my word for it. As gross as it sounds and as gross as it looks to you guys, looks amazing to me. Bull peanuts are pure bliss. The beer was phenomenal too. I allowed myself to cheat a little bit on that one. As you guys know, I've been on the ketogenic diet and it's worked wonders for me. But when it comes to beer selection, pretty much all you can drink is Bud Select and Michelob Ultra. So I don't really get to drink good beer very often. The fact that I can't have it all the time makes it taste that much better. The people who opened it were already good friends of ours, but man, that is just going to do such great things for Ybor City. And the fact that it took the place of a business that did such horrible things for Ybor City just makes it that much more poetic. I absolutely love it. Huge thanks to all you guys who have been following Jessica over there on the Doghouse. That's her YouTube channel for you guys who aren't in the know. And it's kind of just focused on all our animals and dog training and videos of the new puppy. We got a new little blue Boston Terrier puppy, which I'll show you guys here in a minute, Lila. With everything Jessica's been through, it's really great that she's had the YouTube channel to focus on, and she's actually doing really well at it. She's up to about 1,200 subscribers now. She's doing a video every 2 or 3 days. She comes out with one, and I don't know, it's just really cool. So, you know, I appreciate you guys showing her support. And if you aren't subscribed, you know, link down in the description. Go check her out. She's really making, I think, really making good content. And I even make a couple of cameos here and there. In fact, we're just about to put out a DIY build your dog a ball pit video that I'm doing for her. So be on the lookout for that one. One of these is not a dog. There's another not dog. I think like all you guys who see pictures of Lila on Instagram don't realize how small that dog actually is. She's about twice the size of when we got her, but how much do you think she weighs now?
Oh, I never weighed her.
She weighed like 2.5 pounds when we got her.
I don't even think she's at 5 pounds yet.
Like there she is next to some chickens. I was talking about the doghouse. Show them some tricks.
Ew, who's...
Damn. All fucking hop along over here. He had a nasty encounter with a car fan blade, and that's why he's only got 3 legs. Do you want a puppy, monkey? He doesn't give a fuck.
It's like a chicken wing.
One thing Grim is doing is pushing his boundaries with Dexter, and he's gonna get himself fucked up one of these days. You're gonna get bit, Grim.
I've already done it, and it still doesn't work. The puppy's like, check this out, cat. I got a leaf.
Here, hold that little puppy up next to Amadeus's head so you can see how tiny it is. Just for comparison. His head weighs more than that puppy. He doesn't want it. He's like, I'm fucking out of here. Fuck that thing. Too small.
Alright, let's go. Dexter!
Alright, now that I've hung out with the dogs for a bit, it's time to go out and get something to cook for dinner. And of course, I could take the truck to go do that, but it's way more fun to take the bike. One of the things I've actually been meaning to put in a video is these Nelson Rig tail bags. You know, we got this one for Jessica's Triumph a while ago, and I got this just because I've used Nelson Rig tail bags for years. Tail bags, tank bags, whatever. They make a bunch of different shit. You guys remember the tail bag I always had on my Rocket 3 was actually a Nelson Rig tail bag that was like over a decade old, and it was still holding up just fine, and I used it constantly. It's how I carried around all my camera gear. It was actually a magnetic tank bag, but it fit on the tail section of the Rocket perfectly. So when it came time to get a tail bag for Jessica's bike, obviously I went Nelson Rig. Well, since we started posting a couple pictures of it, Nelson Rig said, hey, why don't you let us send you another tail bag for your Ducati? And they did. So I figured I'd give you guys a little review of the tail bag just because they were so cool to send it to me. And also, I can recommend it because, like I said, I've been using Nelson Rig products for years and they've held up perfectly. I like these because they mount super simple, they look super clean, and they look like they belong on the bike, and it's just one big compartment, which is what I like. This is actually way easier to use for just throwing everyday stuff in as opposed to these bags, which are actually a serious pain in the ass to use. I don't use them very often. I almost always put my stuff in this unless it's something I really need to lock away, just because this is so easy to use. So you guys know me, I don't do normal reviews, so instead of saying, well, this is how it mounts to the bike and these are how the zippers work, because I don't really give a fuck. I don't do stuff like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get on the Ducati, I'm going to go and I'm going to get everything I need to cook a full dinner, and I'm going to see if I can fit that all in this tail bag. Yeah, good luggage is important. At least it's important to me. And honestly, these Givi saddlebags that are on the Multistrada that actually come stock from Ducati are awful. They're just awful, crappy, plastic little bins on the side of the bike that are hard to open. They open from the side, and I hate using them. I'll be talking about it in the full review I have coming out later of the Ducati Multistrada. So yeah, good luggage is important. I know a lot of people don't like luggage on a bike. They don't like saddlebags. They don't like tail bags. They don't like tank bags. But I'll tell you, I had a motorcycle only for a decade. I spent 10 years of my life without a car and only a motorcycle. So let me tell you, when it comes to grocery shopping and living life and being able to do all the things you do when you need to go across town and carry something with you, you get over the fact that you might not want luggage on your bike. And of course, it's easy to be motorcycle only here in Florida where you can ride year round. But, you know, we've got a truck in the family now. It's actually not my truck, it's Jessica's truck. But I still mainly ride a motorcycle, so I use this stuff all the time. And there are lots of people in Florida, and I'm sure in California too, and Texas, where you can ride year round, that have a motorcycle only. Especially here in Florida, where you don't even have to have insurance on a motorcycle. It is way cheaper to have just a motorcycle and not a car. Especially for young people who have really expensive insurance. Here in Florida, I don't know why you'd choose anything but a motorcycle. Because even if you do have to insure a motorcycle, if it's a cruiser or adventure type bike like this, it costs almost nothing. Insuring one of these bikes, even as a young person, is only going to cost you a few $100s a year. Shit, if you're 19, 20 years old and you want to insure a car, it's going to be at least $200 a month. And a lot of people may scoff, well, if you only have a motorcycle, what do you do when it rains? You know what you do when it rains? You get wet, motherfucker. But seriously, on a motorcycle, a little bit of rain gear goes a long way. And riding in the rain is not hard. It's really not that much different from riding at any other time. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents on it. I know motorcycles aren't for everybody. I'm just saying, if I was a young girl or a young guy, especially in a city like Tampa where our public transportation is a joke, I would really be looking hard at getting a motorcycle for my main mode of transportation instead of a car. It's just so outrageously expensive for a young person to insure a car. So I figured to make things a little more interesting for this fill the bag challenge, or cook dinner out of a or cook dinner off a motorcycle challenge, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Instead of going to the regular grocery store, I'm going to go to Costco. I might as well make things a little bit harder on myself and buy everything in bulk and see if this Nelson rig tail bag can still handle it. Again, I have not pre-planned this, by the way. I have no idea if all this shit's going to fit. I actually don't even know what I'm going to make for dinner. I'm just going to go see what looks good. All right. Well, now let's see if I can make everything I got here fit in this bag. You know, I do have these in case it doesn't work, but I'm going to try to make everything fit in here. First things first, we got salmon. And it's a little bit of a tight fit, but it does fit. Cauliflower rice, since I am on a keto diet, I can't have real rice, which sucks, but this is almost as good. Got that 3-berry blend for my morning dirt bike smoothies. You know, maybe I should actually, go through everything I've started eating and how I've changed my diet in order to lose 100 pounds. I don't know if anybody's interested in seeing that, but I'll make a video on it if you guys are. All right, we're starting to look a little full already, but I can fit a few more things in here. Pork loin on sale for $2 a pound, and I just couldn't say no. We were out of oil, so I had to grab a little more avocado oil here. A big old pack of portobello mushrooms. And, of course, for Jessica, the finest vintage Kirkland brand wine. This stuff is only $8 a bottle, and it's actually pretty good for what it is. Now, this doesn't look like it's exactly going to fit, so what I'm going to have to do, it does have this zipper here where you can make it taller, so I'm going to undo that. And now the whole thing, I think you gain like a couple inches. Boom. Now we can fit that sweet berry wine in there. All right. Mushrooms on top. Shit, we even got room for something else in there. Boom. Dinner and then some in the Nelson Rig 1060S tail bag. All right, I know what I saved room for. I took the divider out, so I'm going to go ahead and shove that in there too. Almost left it.